Hidden Secrets of the Police. A series of police techniques for detecting lies. Copyright 2024 NLP Radio Inc. Note: this book is translated and narrated by artificial intelligence, so I apologize in advance for possible mistakes in the pronunciation of words. Introduction. In a world full of mystery and human complexity, the ability to detect lies has become an art and a science. Every day, people tell lies in various situations, and these lies can have profound and significant consequences. From criminal courtrooms to business negotiations and everyday interactions, lies can mislead us and obscure the truth. But how to identify the hidden signs of lies in the sea of words and gestures? How can one penetrate deep into the human psyche and easily separate lies from the truth? This is where advanced police techniques come into play. In this book, we take you into the fascinating and complex world of lie detection techniques. From analyzing nonverbal behaviors to the use of advanced technology and psychological techniques, each chapter introduces you to the tools police use to uncover the truth. These techniques can help you spot lies and make better decisions not only in criminal investigations, but in everyday life as well. Have you ever encountered someone who seems to be hiding something? Or maybe you are in a situation where you doubt whether the information provided is real or not. This book will help you to distinguish the truth from lies with accurate and scientific tools and achieve a better understanding of human behavior. Join us on an exciting and informative journey into the world of lie detection techniques. This book will give you a new look at how to discover the truth and bring you to a level of understanding and insight that you may never have experienced. Are you ready to uncover hidden secrets and get closer to the truth? This book is your key to enter the hidden world of lies and truths. Chapter 1. Analysis of Nonverbal Behavior. Lie detection is one of the most important skills that any detective or police officer should master. Liars may be careful with their words and try to hide the truth, but their bodies usually tell a different story. Our bodies are subconsciously influenced by our emotions, which causes our bodies to show invisible signs even when our mouths are lying. In this chapter, we will take a closer look at nonverbal behaviors and how to analyze them. 1. Body movements. Human body movements are one of the first signs that can reveal a lie. When a person lies, they often show sudden and unusual movements. These movements can include fidgeting, shaking hands, rubbing your nose or ears, or even trying to hide your hands in your pockets. In many cases, liars tend to make themselves appear smaller, such as by leaning back or hunching their shoulders. These states are caused by the psychological pressure caused by lying and are usually not hidden from the sharp eyes of a detective. In addition, changes in the way the body moves can also help detect lies. For example, a person who normally moves slowly may move faster when lying, or vice versa. These changes occur due to increased stress and attempts to hide the truth. In other cases, liars may attempt to maintain a natural appearance by exhibiting more than normal movements, but these efforts are usually revealed by incoherence and lack of coordination in body movements. 2. Eye contact. One of the most important nonverbal cues that can help detect a lie is eye contact. Humans have a natural tendency to look their audience in the eye when telling the truth, but liars usually avoid doing so. Reluctance to make eye contact or avoiding looking directly at the audience can be a sign of trying to hide the truth. But it's not always that simple. Some people try to cover up their lies by making too much eye contact. They may try to convince the audience that they have nothing to hide by looking straight and without blinking. These behaviors usually seem unnatural and can be a sign of dishonesty. On the other hand, analyzing more details such as blinking can help detect lies. Liars may blink more or less than usual due to stress. Changes in the amount and speed of blinking usually occur due to increased awareness and efforts to control the lie. These changes may not be noticeable at first glance, but for those who pay attention to these signs, they can be a powerful tool for detecting lies. 3. How to sit. How people sit and how they change can help analysts identify real emotions. For example, a person who is lying may unconsciously change their sitting position. These changes can include moving frequently, putting the arms in a defensive position such as crossing them over the chest, or trying to move away from a place that feels threatened. People who lie are usually trying to keep their bodies on the defensive. They may cross their legs or place their hands firmly on their thighs. These signs indicate an attempt to control the situation and hide inner anxiety. Even the smallest changes in the way you sit can help analysts detect a person's true feelings. Sometimes, the liar tries to hide his dishonesty by assuming a completely still position. This behavior can also be a sign of trying to control anxiety and prevent revealing the truth. But this abnormal state can quickly become apparent, and experienced detectives use these behaviors as a sign of lying. 4. Subtle changes in behavior. Many people unconsciously show subtle changes in their behavior when they lie. These changes can include sudden shaking of the head, changes in the way you smile, or even changes in the way you hold things. For example, a person who is usually calm and reserved may suddenly become nervous and play with objects around them while lying. These small changes can help analysts detect that a person is hiding something. At other times, liars may try to distract the audience by increasing friendly or aggressive behavior. These changes can be due to trying to hide the anxiety and stress caused by lying. For example, a person who is normally calm may suddenly become aggressive when lying, or vice versa. These behaviors can be seen as a sign of trying to control the situation and hide the truth. 5. Disproportionate reactions. Another nonverbal cue that can help detect lies is disproportionate reactions. Liars sometimes show reactions that are not consistent with the situation or the questions asked. For example, a person who is lying may overreact to a simple, non-threatening question. These reactions are usually caused by anxiety and stress and can indicate an attempt to hide the truth. Also, liars may try unnaturally to control their emotions and show overly calm or unemotional reactions. These behaviors usually occur due to an attempt to hide the anxiety and stress caused by lying. Experienced analysts can use these disproportionate reactions as cues to detect lies. Conclusion: nonverbal behaviors are one of the most powerful tools that police officers and analysts use to detect lies. Because of their natural nature, these behaviors are usually harder to control and therefore can be accurate indicators of a person's true feelings. In this chapter, we looked at several nonverbal cues that can help detect lies. These cues included body movements, eye contact, posture, subtle changes in behavior, and inappropriate reactions. Understanding and analyzing these behaviors requires practice and experience, but with careful study and attention to detail, a higher level of ability to detect lies can be achieved. This chapter is just the beginning to explore the complex and fascinating world of lie detection techniques. In later chapters, we'll explore other tools and techniques that can help you along the way. Chapter 2: Speech Analysis. In the complex world of police investigation, speech and words spoken by people are one of the most key tools to discover the truth. Liars may try to hide the truth by using complex and calculated words and sentences, but these efforts often backfire. As much as human speech can be a means of hiding the truth, it can also be one of the strongest signs of revealing it. In this chapter, we will examine how to analyze speech and recognize signs of lies in people's conversations. 1. Tone of voice. Tone of voice is one of the first and most obvious signs that can reveal a lie. When a person lies, their tone of voice usually changes. These changes can include a rise or fall in pitch, unusual harshness or softness in the voice, and even sudden changes in volume. These changes are caused by psychological pressure and trying to control the situation. For example, a person who normally speaks in a quiet, controlled tone of voice may unconsciously raise their voice or become louder when lying. Conversely, someone who has a naturally loud and strong voice may become quieter and weaker when lying. These changes in tone of voice usually occur due to an attempt to hide anxiety and stress caused by lying and can be used as a strong indicator in speech analysis. In addition, changes in the rhythm and speed of speech can also be a sign of lying. Liars may try to hide the truth by speaking faster or slower. These changes are usually made due to an attempt to control the situation and prevent a lie from being revealed. For example, a person who is lying may suddenly start speaking faster to avoid further questions or, conversely, try to speak more slowly to gain more time to think and make up the next lie. 2. Speech rhythm. Speech rhythm is one of the other important aspects in speech analysis. When a person lies, the rhythm of their speech usually changes. These changes can include long pauses, using short and choppy sentences, or even trying to fill in the blanks with nonsense words and phrases. For example, a person who is lying may have longer pauses before answering a question. These pauses usually occur as a result of trying to find an appropriate response in sync with previous lies. On the other hand, a person who is telling the truth usually speaks without pauses and in a natural rhythm. Also, liars may try to avoid details by using short, clipped sentences. They may try to avoid more questions by using short and vague answers and be less likely to expose a lie. This type of speech usually indicates an attempt to control information and prevent the truth from being revealed. Sometimes, liars try to avoid creating more questions by filling in the blanks in their speech. They may use gibberish, repetition of words, or even extra stories to distract the listener. These behaviors usually occur because of trying to hide the truth and avoid contradictions in the speech. 3. Short and vague answers. Another speech sign that can help identify a lie is the use of short and vague answers. Liars usually try to avoid too many details and answer questions with short and unhelpful answers. This type of speech usually indicates an attempt to hide the truth and avoid contradictions in the story. For example, a person who is lying may respond to questions that require clarification with answers such as, "I don't know," "maybe," or "maybe." This type of answers is usually used to avoid contradictions and maintain harmony in the story. Liars may also try to avoid giving more details by using vague words and phrases. On the other hand, people who tell the truth tend to give more details and answer questions with more care and attention. They usually have no worries about inconsistencies in their story and therefore speak with more honesty and clarity. These differences in how to respond can be used as a cue to detect lies. 4. Using conditional sentences. Another tool that liars use to hide the truth is using conditional sentences. This type of sentence allows a person to refrain from telling the truth entirely and at the same time appear to have answered. For example, a person who is lying may use phrases like "if," "maybe," or perhaps to indirectly avoid answering the question. This type of sentence is usually used in an attempt to maintain flexibility in the story and avoid contradictions. Liars usually try to avoid providing definite and specific information by using these sentences, and in this way, they can easily change their story if they encounter contradictions. On the other hand, people who tell the truth usually use clear and definite sentences and do not tend to use conditional sentences. Because of their honesty in speech, they do not need to maintain flexibility in their story and therefore speak more clearly and accurately. 5. Unnecessary explanations and additional details. One of the other important signs in speech analysis is the use of unnecessary explanations and additional details. Liars may try to distract the listener by providing additional and unnecessary information and avoid contradictions in the story. This behavior usually occurs due to an attempt to hide the truth and avoid raising more questions. For example, a person who is lying may answer a simple and direct question by providing additional and irrelevant details. This behavior is usually due to an attempt to distract the listener and prevent him from focusing on the main topic. Liars may also try to tell their story by using long and complicated explanations in such a way that the listener does not have a chance to analyze it carefully. On the other hand, People who tell the truth are usually less inclined to provide extra and unnecessary details and answer questions more accurately and clearly. Because of the honesty in speech, they do not need to complicate the story, and for this reason, they speak using simple and direct words and sentences. 6. Repetition of words and phrases. Another speech sign that can help detect a lie is the repetition of words and phrases. Liars usually try to remember their story by repeating words and phrases and avoid contradictions. This behavior usually occurs due to an attempt to control the speech and prevent the truth from being revealed. For example, a person who is lying may repeat certain words or phrases several times to better remember their story and avoid creating contradictions. This type of speech usually indicates an attempt to control the situation and prevent speech errors. On the other hand, people who tell the truth usually do not need to constantly repeat words and phrases and answer questions naturally without constant repetition. Due to their honesty in speech, they do not need to constantly control their speech and therefore speak more freely. Conclusion. In this chapter, we examined and analyzed speech and how to detect lies in people's speech. Among the important signs that can help identify a lie, we can mention changes in tone of voice, speech rhythm, use of short and vague sentences, use of conditional and conditional sentences, providing unnecessary explanations and additional details, and repetition of words and phrases. These signs are usually caused by psychological pressure and trying to control the situation when lying and can be used as powerful tools in speech analysis and truth discovery. By studying and understanding these signs, it is possible to analyze people's speech more effectively and thus help to discover the truth and prevent the disclosure of lies. In the following chapters, we will explore other methods that can be effective in detecting lies and show you how you can apply these techniques in your everyday life. Chapter 3. Body Language. In the complex world of police investigation, body language is one of the key tools to detect lies. Although words can be deceiving, the human body often reveals the truth, especially in stressful situations such as lying. This chapter takes a closer look at body language, cues, and techniques that police use to detect lies through this tool. 1. Eye contact. One of the first and most important signs that is considered in body language analysis is eye contact. People usually try to maintain normal eye contact when they're lying, but they often either make too much eye contact or cut it completely. People who avoid eye contact may do so out of guilt or fear of exposing a lie. On the other hand, some people try to show that they are sincere by maintaining too much eye contact, but this unnatural effort usually backfires. In such a situation, a long look without blinking can be a sign of trying to control the behavior and hide the lie. Additionally, sudden changes in eye contact can also be a sign of lying. For example, a person who suddenly breaks eye contact or starts looking away may be trying to cover up a lie. Also, changes in the direction of looking can also be significant. People who are making up lies tend to look to the left, while people who are recalling the truth tend to look to the right. 2. Hand movements. Hands are one of the most important tools of the body to express feelings and thoughts. When a person lies, their hand movements usually change. These changes can include using the hands more or less than usual, uncoordinated movements, and even hiding the hands. People who are lying may try to hide their hands or hold them unnaturally still. This effort to control hand movements is usually due to the stress of lying. In other cases, the person may use their hands unnaturally to emphasize what they are saying, but these movements are usually incoherent and aimless, indicating an attempt to gain attention and hide the truth. Another important sign in hand movements is touching the face, especially the mouth and nose, while speaking. These movements usually occur unconsciously when the person is lying. Touching the nose or covering the mouth can be a sign of trying to hide the truth. 3. Circumstances. The face, as a mirror of inner feelings, plays an important role in detecting lies. Sudden changes in facial expressions, such as fake smiles, unusual raised eyebrows, or unnatural wrinkles around the eyes can be a sign of lying. One of the techniques police use to detect lies through facial expressions is the detailed analysis of microexpressions. Microexpressions are quick and invisible movements of facial muscles that show a person's true feelings. For example, a person trying to hide their anger may involuntarily contract the muscles around their mouth for a few brief moments. These microexpressions usually only occur for a fraction of a second, and their detection requires a lot of practice and precision. Also, inconsistency between facial expressions and speech can also be a sign of lying. For example, a person who says, "I'm happy," but at the same time has a sad or nervous face is probably lying. This inconsistency between words and facial expressions usually occurs due to an attempt to control real emotions and hide the truth. 4. Body position. Body posture can also indicate the honesty or dishonesty of a person. People who lie usually try to control their posture, but these efforts are often unconsciously accompanied by signs of stress and anxiety. One of the important signs in body posture is the tendency to distance yourself from the person you are talking to. This behavior usually occurs due to feeling insecure and trying to create psychological distance from the lie. Also, liars may involuntarily lean their bodies toward doors or exits, meaning they are unconsciously seeking to escape the situation. In addition, liars may try to hold their bodies still and avoid natural movements. This attempt to control body posture is usually due to the stress of lying. On the other hand, people who tell the truth usually speak calmly without trying to control their body movements and have a natural and comfortable posture. 5. Leg movements. Leg movements are another sign that can help detect a lie. Feet usually provide valuable information about a person's true feelings because they are far from conscious control. When a person lies, his legs are usually restless. This restlessness can include shaking the legs, tapping the floor, or even moving the legs towards the exit. On the other hand, hiding or folding the legs can also be a sign of lying. A person who is lying may try to avoid showing signs of stress and restlessness by tucking their legs under the chair or hiding them. This attempt to control leg movements is usually due to an attempt to hide the anxiety and stress of lying. Also, the direction of the feet can indicate the inner feelings of the person. For example, a person with their feet facing doors or exits may be unconsciously seeking to escape the situation. This type of leg movement usually indicates discomfort and an attempt to get out of the position. 6. Sweating and breathing. Another nonverbal cue that can help detect a lie is changes in the pattern of sweating and breathing. When a person lies, their stress levels usually increase, which can lead to increased sweating and changes in breathing patterns. Sweating in certain areas such as the palms, forehead, or armpits can indicate stress and anxiety. People who are lying tend to sweat more than normal. This increase in sweating occurs due to the activation of the sympathetic nervous system and the increase in the level of adrenaline in the body. Changes in breathing patterns can also be a sign of lying. When a person lies, their breathing usually becomes faster and shallower. These changes occur due to increased stress levels and attempts to control the situation. On the other hand, people who tell the truth tend to breathe more deeply and calmly. Conclusion. In this chapter, we examine body language and its role in detecting lies. Eye contact, hand movements, facial expressions, body posture, leg movements, and changes in perspiration and breathing are all signs that can help detect a lie. These signs are usually caused by an attempt to control the situation and hide the truth, and can be used as powerful tools in analyzing body language and detecting lies. By understanding and practicing these techniques, you can more effectively analyze people's body language and thereby help detect lies and prevent verbal deception. In the following chapters, we will explore other methods that can be effective in detecting lies and show you how you can apply these techniques in your everyday life. Chapter 4. Analysis of stress and anxiety symptoms. In this chapter, we will examine one of the most complex and at the same time vital aspects of lie detection, That is, the analysis of stress and anxiety symptoms. Stress and anxiety naturally increase when a person lies. These psychological and physiological changes are often difficult to hide by people and can be used as a key tool in detecting lies. 1. Changes in heart rate and blood pressure. When a person lies, the body unconsciously reacts to this stressful situation. One of the first reactions is an increase in heart rate and blood pressure. These changes are caused by the release of stress hormones such as adrenaline, which prepares the body to respond to the threat. Police and investigators often use heart rate and blood pressure measuring devices such as polygraphs to detect these changes. Considering that lying increases stress and anxiety, the person may not be able to control these physiological changes, and therefore, these devices can help detect lies. Of course, it should be noted that changes in heart rate and blood pressure do not always mean lying. Some people may undergo these changes for other reasons, such as fear of revealing the truth, anxiety caused by being in stressful situations, or even previous unpleasant experiences. Therefore, careful analysis and simultaneous examination of other symptoms is necessary. 2. Changes in breathing pattern. Breathing is another physiological symptom that is affected by stress and anxiety. When a person lies, their breathing pattern usually changes. These changes can include faster or shallower breathing. Changes in breathing patterns usually occur due to the body's unconscious attempt to regulate the levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the blood. These changes may appear as changes in the number of breaths per minute, increased depth of breathing, or even sudden pauses in breathing. People who are lying may breathe faster or shallower without realizing it. These changes can be a sign of trying to control the stress and anxiety caused by lying. Of course, like changes in heart rate and blood pressure, these symptoms can also occur for other reasons, such as general anxiety or fear of certain situations. 3. Sweating. Sweating is another physiological symptom that is strongly affected by stress and anxiety. When a person lies, the sympathetic nervous system is activated and causes increased sweating. This sweating is usually seen in places like the palms, forehead, and armpits. Increased sweating occurs due to the increased activity of sweat glands and the release of stress hormones such as adrenaline. This physiological reaction is usually to regulate body temperature and reduce stress, but in stressful situations such as lying, it can be considered as a clear sign of an attempt to hide the truth. Police and investigators often use this sign as one of the criteria for detecting lies. For example, if a person starts sweating profusely during an interrogation, this could be a sign of stress and an attempt to hide the truth. 4. Trembling of hands and body. Shaking hands and body is another physiological sign that may appear when lying. This tremor usually occurs due to increased levels of stress and anxiety and activation of the sympathetic nervous system. When a person is lying, they may start shaking involuntarily. This tremor may appear in the hands, feet, or even in the person's voice. Trying to control these vibrations usually causes more stress and eventually leads to the revelation of the lie. People who are lying may try to hide these signs by hiding their hands or sitting in a position where the tremors are less visible. But these efforts usually fail, and the tremors remain a clear sign of stress and anxiety. 5. Changes in tone of voice. A person's tone of voice can also change when lying. These changes usually occur due to the tension of the throat muscles and vocal cords caused by stress and anxiety. Changes in pitch can include sudden increases or decreases in pitch, changes in volume, or even sudden pauses. A person who is lying may unconsciously try to change their tone of voice to show that they are calm and honest. But this effort usually appears unnatural and incoherent with the person's original speech and can be a sign of lying. Policemen and investigators usually listen carefully to changes in tone of voice and use it as one of the important cues in speech analysis and lie detection. These changes usually occur unconsciously and uncontrollably and can be used as a powerful tool in lie detection. 6. Analysis of microexpressions. Microexpressions are very quick and imperceptible movements of the facial muscles that usually last less than a second. These gestures reveal a person's true feelings, even if they try to hide them. When a person is lying, microexpressions may appear on their face that indicate their true feelings, such as fear, anger, or stress. These microexpressions usually occur because of the body's attempt to control and hide real emotions, and are hard to detect. Analyzing microexpressions requires practice and precision, but police officers and investigators are usually well-versed in this technique and can use it to detect lies. This technique is especially useful in face-to-face interrogations, where even a small change in facial expression can be interpreted as a sign of lying. Conclusion. In this chapter, we examine the physiological symptoms of stress and anxiety and their role in detecting lies. Changes in heart rate, blood pressure, breathing, sweating, hand and body tremors, changes in voice tone, and microexpression analysis are all signs that can help detect a lie. These signs are usually caused by the body's attempt to deal with the stress and anxiety caused by lying, and they can be used as powerful tools in analyzing people's behavior and speech. By practicing and becoming familiar with these signs, you can more effectively analyze stressful situations and identify lies. In the following chapters, we will explore other methods that can be effective in detecting lies and show you how you can apply these techniques in your everyday life. Chapter 5. Facing the Shadows: Abuse of Lie Detection Techniques. In this chapter, we enter a dark world where the power to detect lies, instead of serving its purpose of uncovering the truth and establishing justice, falls into the hands of people who intend to use it for nefarious and evil purposes. These people not only use sophisticated techniques to identify liars, but also seek to use this knowledge to control and manipulate others. 1. Mastery of psychological tools. People who intend to abuse lie detection techniques are usually well-versed in psychological tools and use them to coerce and intimidate others. These tools include psychological tricks that can make a person confess to a sin he did not commit, or even force him to do something against his will. One of these tools is to make a person feel guilty. By asking leading questions and using the information they have gathered from the person, the abuser can lead the person to a point where they feel they have no choice but to plead guilty, even if they are innocent. 2. Interrogation tricks. Interrogation tricks that are commonly used to uncover the truth and break the liar's resistance can easily be turned into a tool of manipulation and control by the unscrupulous. These people can direct the person to their desired answers by asking ambiguous questions and using psychological pressure. One of the techniques used in these methods is creating time pressure. By instilling the impression that time is running out and a conclusion must be reached quickly, the interrogator forces the individual to confess or provide information that may be false or immature. In such a situation, a person may turn to lying or providing false information due to stress and psychological pressure. 3. Inducing fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety are powerful tools in the hands of those who intend to abuse lie detection techniques. By creating a fearful and threatening atmosphere, they can bring the person to the point where even if he tells the truth, he is forced to hide or distort it for fear of the consequences. This technique is usually used in situations where the interrogator tries to force the person to confess by using the fear of heavy punishments. For example, the threat of long prison terms, heavy fines, or even the threat of physical or mental harm can drive a person to the point of lying or confessing to a crime they did not commit in order to save themselves from this fearful situation. 4. Playing with people's psychology. People who seek to exploit lie detection techniques are well-versed in human psychology and use this knowledge to control and manipulate others. Using various psychological techniques, they can get a person to a point where they unconsciously turn to lying or providing false information. One of these techniques is using the psychology of deception. In this method, by creating an environment of trust and friendship, the interrogator brings the person to a point where he feels that he can trust him and share his information with him. But in fact, This trust is only a deception, and the interrogator uses this information to control and manipulate him. 5. Penetration in people's minds. Infiltrating people's minds and controlling their thoughts and emotions is one of the most dangerous aspects of abusing lie detection techniques. People who specialize in this field can penetrate into a person's mind by using complex psychological and communication techniques and force them to do things against their will. One of these techniques is the use of hypnosis. Using hypnosis, the interrogator can temporarily take control of the person's mind and behavior and make them do things they would never do under normal circumstances. This technique is usually used in situations where the interrogator wants to obtain information from the person that he or she is not naturally willing to reveal. 6. Abuse of microexpressions. As mentioned in the previous chapters, microexpressions are small signs that can reveal a person's true feelings. But this technique, if it falls into the wrong hands, can become a tool to manipulate and control others. People who abuse microexpressions can understand the real feelings and thoughts of a person by analyzing these signs and use this information to control and manipulate him. This technique is especially effective in situations where the interrogator intends to force the person to do something against his will. Conclusion. In this chapter, we explored the ways in which unscrupulous people can exploit lie detection techniques to control and manipulate others, mastering psychic tools, interrogation tricks, instilling fear and anxiety, playing with people's psychology, penetrating minds, and abusing microexpressions can all become powerful tools in the hands of the unholy. These techniques, although in themselves designed to uncover the truth and bring about justice, in the wrong hands, can become a tool for abuse, control, and manipulation of others. Being aware of these dangers and recognizing them can help you to resist these types of abuses and not allow lie detection techniques to serve lies and impurity instead of serving the truth. Chapter 6. Indirect Techniques. In this chapter, we examine techniques that are indirectly used to detect lies. These techniques mostly analyze the behavior and psychological reactions of a person in certain situations and help the police to reveal the truth through indirect ways and using psychological and social pressure. 1. Creating mental pressure. One of the effective ways to detect a lie is to put psychological pressure on the suspect. In this method, the interrogator or analyst tries to use various psychological techniques to put the person in a situation where he will lie or provide false information under psychological pressure. This pressure can be created directly or indirectly. Psychological pressure techniques. Repeated questions. Repeating the same questions continuously can stress a person and increase the possibility of lying. This technique allows the interviewer to better identify inconsistencies in the individual's responses. Timing of pressure. Sometimes the interrogator tries to keep the person in the interrogation environment for a long time in order to bring the person to a point where he can no longer control his lies and tell the truth through fatigue and mental stress. Creating a sense of guilt. The interrogator may bring up topics that provoke a person's guilt to a point where he has no choice but to tell the truth. 2. Observing social interactions. Observing the suspect's behavior and social interactions with others can provide important information to the investigator. This technique deals with the analysis of nonverbal behaviors and social reactions of a person in different situations. Analysis of social interactions. Reaction to difficult questions. The way a person reacts to difficult or unexpected questions can be signs of dishonesty. For example, if a person suddenly becomes defensive or tries to change the subject when faced with a sensitive question, this could be a sign of an attempt to hide the truth. How to deal with colleagues or friends. The suspicious person's behavior with colleagues or friends can also indicate lying. If the person experiences behavioral inconsistencies in their interactions with others, this may indicate a false story that they are trying to hide. Changes in daily behavior. Unusual changes in daily behavior, such as avoiding social contacts or changes in usual habits, can indicate anxiety or stress caused by lying. 3. Psychological tests. Using psychological tests is another indirect method to detect lies. These tests are usually designed to measure a person's psychological reactions to various situations and can reveal signs of lying. Types of psychological tests. Project tests. These types of tests, such as the Rorschach test or the TAD test, allow a person to unconsciously express their feelings and thoughts by telling stories or interpreting pictures. The analyst can use this information to identify inconsistencies and signs of lying. Cognitive tests. These tests are designed to measure a person's cognitive abilities and can help detect cognitive abnormalities that may be caused by lying. For example, a person who is trying to hide the truth may have difficulty performing memory or concentration tests. Stress tests. Stress tests, such as measuring heart rate or other physiological changes, can reveal signs of stress caused by lying. These tests can be useful especially in situations where a person is under psychological pressure. 4. Using preventive methods. Sometimes the police use preventive methods to detect lies. These methods are designed to create an interrogation environment in which the suspect is forced to tell the truth due to fear of the consequences of lying. Preventive methods. Informing about the consequences of lying. One of the effective methods in this field is informing about the consequences of lying. If a person knows that lying can have serious consequences, they may prefer to tell the truth. Creating a friendly interrogation environment. Unlike pressure techniques, sometimes creating a friendly and safe environment can encourage a person to tell the truth. In such an environment, the individual feels able to share information with the interrogator without fear of retribution. Use of witnesses or documents. The presence of witnesses or the presentation of documents and documents that may prove the person lying can act as an effective preventive method. This can pressure the person to tell the truth instead of continuing to lie. Conclusion. Indirect lie detection techniques allow police officers to uncover the truth by analyzing behaviors, psychology, and social interactions. These techniques are especially useful in situations where the suspect is unwilling to confess directly and can help identify signs of lying. Chapter 7. Physical Examination Techniques. In this chapter, we examine techniques that help police identify inconsistencies in a suspect's statements and reveal the truth through physical evidence analysis and crime scene investigation. These techniques are especially important when physical evidence can serve as evidence to prove or disprove the suspect's claims. 1. Examination of documents. One of the main methods of police to detect lies is the careful analysis of physical evidence. Physical evidence, such as identification evidence, movement patterns, and even evidence left at a crime scene, can provide valuable information about the truth or falsity of a suspect's statements. Analysis of identity documents. Matching the documents with the statements. One of the first steps that the police take in checking the identity documents is matching the information contained in the documents with the statements of the suspect. Any difference or contradiction in these documents can indicate lying. For example, if a person lies about their age or where they live, this information is quickly matched with their identification documents and inconsistencies are identified. Checking the validity of documents. In addition to matching, checking the validity of documents is also important. Fake or distorted documents can be a sign that someone is trying to hide the truth. Police officers use a variety of techniques to determine the authenticity of documents, including checking document security details such as holograms, signatures, and special codes. Analysis of movement patterns. Examining the person's movements. Examining the suspicious person's movement patterns can also help identify contradictions. For example, if a person claims to have been in another location at the time of the crime, the police can verify this claim by analyzing their movement patterns through CCTV or GPS tracking. Matching with physical evidence. Other physical evidence that may be obtained from movement patterns, such as footprints left at the crime scene or handprints on various objects, can be used to match the suspect's statements. 2. Check the location. Detailed analysis of the crime scene and its matching with the details provided by the suspect is another key technique in detecting lies. This technique allows the police to examine the suspect's claims and identify any inconsistencies by examining the evidence at the scene. Crime scene analysis. Collecting evidence. One of the first actions that are carried out in the investigation of the crime scene is the collection of physical evidence. This evidence can include anything from fingerprints and footprints to objects left at the site. Using this evidence, the police are trying to create a picture of what happened at the scene. Crime scene reconstruction. Crime scene reconstruction allows the police to analyze what happened more precisely. In this process, the police try to reconstruct the events in the order they happened, using the available evidence and the statements of witnesses or suspects. This reconstruction can help identify inconsistencies in the suspect's statements. Match the details with the location. Checking the matching of details. The police carefully match the statements of the suspect with the details available at the location. Any difference in this match can indicate lying. For example, if a person claims to have been in another place at the time of the crime, but the evidence shows that he was present at the scene of the crime, this can be an indication that he is lying. Checking witnesses. The testimony of eyewitnesses can also help to match the details. The police try to get an accurate picture of the truth by examining the statements of witnesses and matching them with the evidence at the scene. Conclusion. Physical examination techniques are one of the most important police tools in detecting lies. A detailed analysis of physical evidence and investigation of the crime scene can help the police to identify the contradictions in the suspect's statements and get closer to the truth. These techniques can serve as important evidence to prove or disprove the suspect's claims, especially when there is strong physical evidence. Chapter 8. Use of technology. In this chapter, we will examine advanced technologies that help police officers detect lies and analyze suspicious behavior. The use of modern technologies, especially in areas such as polygraphs, voice analysis, and facial analysis, allows police officers to more carefully examine evidence and detect lies. 1. Polygraph. The polygraph, also known as the polygraph, is one of the main tools in lie detection. By measuring changes in a person's physiological activities, this device helps the analyst to examine the body's reactions when faced with various questions. How the polygraph works. Measurement of blood pressure and heart rate. Polygraph measures the blood pressure and heart rate of a person using different sensors. Unusual changes in these parameters can be a sign of stress or lying. Normally, when lying, a person's blood pressure and heart rate increase. Respiratory responses. In addition to blood pressure and heart rate, the polygraph also measures changes in a person's breathing patterns. Lying can lead to abnormal changes in breathing pattern, which can be detected by the device. Data analysis. The data collected by the polygraph are analyzed by specialized software. With the help of advanced algorithms, this analysis turns physiological changes into possible signs of lying. Limitations of the polygraph. Psychological responses. The polygraph cannot definitively detect lying, and its results may be affected by psychological factors such as anxiety or stress. Lack of absolute accuracy. While the polygraph can help identify physiological abnormalities, the final result requires more careful analysis and confirmation by other methods. 2. Audio analysis. Voice analysis is another modern technique for detecting lies. This method involves the use of audio analysis software to examine the characteristics of a person's speech and identify unusual changes. How audio analysis works. Speech characteristics. Voice analysis software examines various characteristics of a person's speech, such as tone of voice, speaking speed, and breathing pattern. Abnormal changes in these characteristics can indicate a person's attempt to hide the truth. Detecting changes in tone of voice. One of the common signs of lying is changes in tone of voice. Audio analysis software is able to identify these changes and analyze them. Analysis of sound waves. Analysis of sound waves with the help of complex algorithms enables the identification of abnormalities related to stress or lying. These abnormalities can be identified as specific curves in audio analysis. Limitations of audio analysis. Influence of environmental factors. Voice quality and speech characteristics may be affected by environmental factors such as noise or technical problems. Natural responses. Changes in speech characteristics may occur for natural reasons unrelated to lying, which may mislead the analyst. 3. Face analysis software. Facial analysis software uses advanced technologies to analyze changes in a person's facial features and emotional expression. These softwares allow the police to more carefully analyze the facial reactions of the person and identify the signs of lying. How facial analysis works. Detection of changes in emotional expression. Facial analysis software is able to identify changes in a person's emotional expression. These changes can include changes in facial muscles, such as smiling or frowning, which can indicate lying. Analysis of facial movements. These software analyze facial movements, such as the movement of eyebrows and eyes. Abnormal changes in these movements can help identify abnormalities and signs of lying. Data analysis. The data collected by facial analysis software are analyzed by advanced algorithms. These analyses can help identify possible signs of lying and stress. Limitations of face analysis. Accuracy of algorithms. The accuracy of face analysis may depend on the quality of algorithms and training data. Inadequate algorithms can lead to incorrect analyses. The effect of mental state. The mental state of a person and his actual emotions can also affect the results of facial analysis and may cause the results to be misinterpreted. Conclusion. Modern technologies such as polygraph, voice analysis, and face analysis software are powerful tools in lie detection. Using detailed physiological, voice, and facial analysis, these techniques help police officers identify signs of lying and get closer to the truth. Although these techniques have limitations, their use in combination with other verification methods can help improve the accuracy of lie detection. Lie detection is one of the most complex and sensitive challenges in police investigations and other related fields. In this book, we tried to comprehensively and accurately examine the techniques and tools that policemen and analysts use to detect lies. Each of the techniques reviewed, from the analysis of nonverbal and speech behavior to the use of advanced technologies and physical examination, plays a vital role in uncovering the truth. During this academic journey, we learned about different methods, each of which has its own strengths and limitations, including 1. Nonverbal behavior analysis. Body movements, eye contact, and posture can help us identify a person's true feelings. These techniques are especially useful in face-to-face interactions and can reveal early signs of insincerity. 2. Speech analysis. Changes in tone of voice, rhythm of speech, and type of responses can give the analyst important information about the person's sincerity. These features can provide more accurate indications of lying and help identify speech abnormalities. 3. Psychological techniques. Methods such as open-ended questions, story matching tests, and stress analysis allow the analyst to delve into deeper layers of a person's behavior and identify signs of dishonesty. 4. Use of technology. Tools such as polygraphs, voice analysis, and facial analysis software allow us to more accurately examine the signs of lying. By providing physiological and analytical data, these technologies help analysts to get a clearer picture of a person's true condition. 5. Physical examination. Analyzing physical evidence and examining the crime scene can help identify important discrepancies and matches. These techniques are especially useful in local surveys and concrete evidence analysis. Finally, it is important to remember in using these techniques and tools that none of them alone can definitively detect lying. A combination of different techniques, along with careful and professional analysis, can lead to the best results and allow police officers and analysts to get closer to the truth. This book is only an introduction to the complex and fascinating world of lie detection. And we hope that it will help readers to become familiar with these techniques and use them in different contexts. Ultimately, our goal is to help improve justice and truth-seeking in various societies by promoting knowledge and skills related to lie detection.